Hi guys, welcome back. I am here today with the Finally Fall book tag, the original being done by Tall Tales, and I'll post a link to her video down in the description box. Number 1. In the fall, the air is crisp and clear. Name a book with a vivid setting. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you who've been watching my channel recently, especially my other fall book tags, know what's coming, but I have picked The Daughter of Smoke and Bone. This book takes place partially in Prague and partially in like this made up world that she's created, and in both of them, like even just the descriptions, but I'm pretty sure Laini Taylor could write a book that takes place in the sewer and it would be vivid and beautiful, and just the descriptions. It's half the setting and half of it's the writing, but definitely vivid setting. Daughter of Smoke and Bone. Number 2. Nature is beautiful but also dying. Name a book that is beautifully written but deals with a heavy subject like grief or loss. So for this one, I picked A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness. Now, I only read like excerpts from this book when I bought it. I really am just like on the special edition kick, and I just really wanted it because look at it. But I got it home and really found out what it was about and just was crushed. Number 3, fall is back to school season. Pick a non-fictional book that taught you something new. For this one, I picked A Beginner's Guide to Digital Painting in Photoshop, the character's version. Now, if you recognize the artwork, this is of course Charlie Bowatter's artwork on the cover, and she is one of the instructors, so to speak, who has passages in this book. And of course I needed it, plus I'm also working on my artwork and has all kind of nifty things like Photoshop brushes and line work and stuff like that, as well as methodology, like how to paint body type and skin and figures and motion and etc. So I figured that would really help me move along with my artwork. 4. In order to keep warm, it's important to spend time with the people we love. Name a fictional family, household, group of friends, whichever, that you'd like to be a part of. For this, I chose the cast of Written in Red, which is the first book in the other series, just simply because, I mean, not only are they just kind of pell-mell cattywampus, just random group of different types of people. There are vampires, there are shifters, there are different animal shifters, like there's werewolves, there's crows, there's I think a lion or a bear shifter, and then there is Meg, who is a blood prophet, and everybody just kind of is just this really random mesh of people, but they fit together very well, and it's a very fun group of people, which it doesn't sound like it if you know what this book is about. And yet the atmosphere when they're all together and teasing each other, especially in the later books, it's very fun, and it's something I really enjoy because I don't like to hang around with this type of people who are like the same as me. Like, you don't learn anything from anybody that way, and it's just not fun because eventually you run out of shit to talk about because you have literally the same views on literally everything. 5. The colorful leaves are piling up on the ground. Show us a pile of fall-colored spines. I think this is fall-colored enough. Yes? 6. Fall is the perfect time for storytelling by the fireside. Pick a book in which someone is telling a story. For this one, I picked The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. I am partway through this book, and by partway I mean like a quarter. I think I'm right about there, and that's area code. But it's the King Killer Chronicles, in which Quoth is sitting down, at least where I am in the story, and beginning to tell his story to the chronicler, and him telling his story is like the narrative for the book. So you're hearing the story as the chronicler's hearing the story. And it's a pretty cool format. I actually really am thoroughly enjoying it. 6. The nights are getting darker. Share a dark and creepy read. And for this one, I picked the Mammoth Book of Jack the Ripper. Yeah, real mammoth. At any rate, this is a chronology of basically articles and like dissertation type things. It has like evidence documents, like police report kind of a deals that are trying to piece together Jack the Ripper's identity. So it's kind of not fan theories, but it's basically a bunch of theories and evidence as to why each person who is listed thinks whatever person that they think is Jack the Ripper is Jack the Ripper. 16 different arguments over the identity of Jack the Ripper. But what makes it creepy is that when you're reading like the police reports and the like mortician reports and whatever about the state of the bodies and what this person had done and the emotions they had to have been feeling to do this type of thing to a living person, it's creepy because it's not fiction. This sociopath was a real person who did these things to somebody. 8. The days are getting colder. Pick a short and heartwarming read that could warm up somebody's day. For this one, I picked Night of Cake and Puppets by Laini Taylor. This is a very short little novella. This is Zusa and Meek's story. Meek. Zusa is Karu's best friend, Karu being the main character in The Daughter Smoke and Bone. This is her main normal human friend who's kind of like 1 foot in, 1 foot out, because she knows there's something going on with Karu, but she doesn't really know about all the fantasy stuff. Meanwhile, while Karu is back and forth between this world and the magical one, so to speak, her best friend kind of has this romance that's budding and developing, and it glosses over it in The Daughter of Smoke and Bone, and we just kind of like, our romance is there. But this one is like the development of the romance of these tertiary characters, and it's so freaking cute. 9. Fall, luckily my favorite season, returns every year. Name an old favorite that you'd like to return to. The Bride by Julie Garwood. This is a very old book. It is a historical romance novel set in Scotland, in which the main character, Jamie, who is the kind of adopted stepdaughter of Baron Jameson, an English baron. She's the youngest of like 4 or 5 girls. She basically is the daughter of a woman who remarried, and when she remarried, she married Baron Jameson, who already had daughters. So Jamie was kind of coming in as an outsider. So her mom, because her mom was pregnant with Jamie at the time, her mom, in an effort to make Jamie feel more like part of the family, named her after Baron Jameson, which is where Jamie came from, which is back then very much a male name. So Jamie is like this Cinderella, kind of, not purposefully, because her stepfather does have a lot of affection for her, but it more so stems from the housework and whatever that he makes her have to do. He basically makes her be the woman of the house, like run the household, even though she is the youngest of a bunch of females, and she ends up being the mom, like taking care of everyone, to include Baron Jameson and the other girls. So Baron Jameson, he is not the most upstanding of fearless leaders, so he does some things that causes the king to be angry with him. So the king orders Baron Jameson to present his daughters for a Scottish laird to pick to wed, and this will kind of tie together his border barons, what the hell? There's a word for that. Whatever. This will tie together like the 2 lands that are bordering English and Scotland, because Baron Jameson is on this one border, and then Alec Kincaid, who is our handsome laird, is on this border, and he wants to kind of start tying together all of these strong families to keep an insurgency from rising up and crushing his reign. So, as what happens in a lot of these books, that's how a lot of the English and Scottish end up marrying, because the king has ordered it to strengthen ties for whatever reason. So Alec Kincaid is coming to pick a bride. But Baron Jameson doesn't want to let go of more or less his bread and butter, like his maid, his household servant, the woman of the house who's running everything, taking care of him and his daughters. So he hides Jamie away and doesn't want anyone to know she's there, because though she's the most beautiful of the girls, so he knows she will get picked first, and he needs her to stay to take care of him. Alec, of course, finds her anyway, and then the romance goes forward. And then I really like the struggle between this couple when they get back to Scotland. It's just, Jamie only knows how to make herself useful to people by running herself ragged into the ground, doing things for them, just basically making herself available, and her new husband is not having it. He's like, nah, you're my wife, sit down and rest. So she thinks that he has literally no care for her at all because he won't let her make himself useful. So at any rate, this is one of my favorites. I love it. I love it a lot. I love Julie Garwood's historical romances, and this one in particular I think is my favorite one. I reread it a lot. Look how old it is. It's yellow. 10. Fall is the perfect time for cozy reading nights. Show your favorite cozy reading accessories. I don't have very many, but blankies and hot toddies. And then 11, show your appreciation and tag some people. So I tag, of course, as always, Leanna from Leanna's Library and Katie from Read a Rot. I tag Bethany. I tag Steph. I will tag all of you down below in the description box. And I'm sure there's other people, but I can never think of them. So that was the Finally Fall book tag. Thank you all for watching. I will catch you in a little while. Bye, guys.